Every Who down in Whoville liked Christmas a lot, but the Grinch, who lived just north of Whoville, did not. The Grinch hated Christmas, the whole Christmas season. Now, please don't ask why. No one quite knows the reason. It could be perhaps that his shoes were too tight. It could be his head wasn't screwed on just right. But I think the most likely reason of all may have been that his heart was 2 sizes too small. But whatever the reason, his heart or his shoes, he stood there on Christmas Eve, hating the Whos. Why, for 53 years I've put up with it now. I must stop Christmas from coming. But how? Then he got an idea, an awful idea. The Grinch got a wonderful, awful idea. I know just what to do. The Grinch laughed in his throat. I'll make a quick Santa Claus hat and a coat. And he chuckled and clucked. What a great Grinchy trick! With this coat and this hat, I'll look just like Saint Nick. Then he loaded some bags and some old empty sacks on a ramshackle sleigh, and he whistled for Max. Then the Grinch said, "Giddy up!" and the sleigh started down toward the homes where the Whos lay a snooze in their town. It was 2:15, all the Whos still abed, all the Whos still a snooze, when he packed up his sled. Packed it up with their presents, their ribbons, their wrappings, their snoof and their fuzzles, their trindlers and trappings. They're just waking up. I know just what they'll do. Their mouths will hang open a minute or two. Then the Whos down in Whoville will all cry, boo-hoo. That's a noise, grinned the Grinch, that I simply must hear. Then he paused, and the Grinch put a hand to his ear. And he did hear a sound rising over the snow. It started in low, then it started to grow. But this sound wasn't sad. Why, this sound sounded glad. Every Who down in Whoville, the tall and the small, was singing without any presents at all. He hadn't stopped Christmas from coming. It came. Somehow or other, it came just the same. And the Grinch, with his Grinch feet ice cold in the snow, stood puzzling and puzzling. How could it be so? It came without ribbons. It came without tags. It came without packages, boxes, or bags. He puzzled and puzzled till his puzzler was sore. Then the Grinch thought of something that he hadn't before. Maybe Christmas, he thought, doesn't come from a store. Maybe Christmas, perhaps, means a little bit more. And what happened then? Well, in Whoville, they say the Grinch's small heart grew 3 sizes that day. And then the true meaning of Christmas came through, and the Grinch found the strength of 10 Grinches plus 2. He brought everything back, all the food for the feast, and he, himself, the Grinch, carved the roast beast. Welcome, Christmas. Bring your cheer. Cheer to all Whos far and near. Christmas Day is in our grasp as long as we have hands to grasp. Christmas Day will always be just as long as we have we. Welcome, Christmas, while we stand, heart to heart and hand to hand.
Wow, what a wonderful, whimsical, even silly story with some really great lessons. The Whos down in Whoville have done what most of us will do. They've made all their preparations for a wonderful Christmas full of presents and gatherings with family and friends around a big feast. But when the Grinch stole all that from them, a remarkable thing happened. It didn't stop Christmas from coming. The Gospel of John says it this way: the light shines in the darkness, and the darkness doesn't extinguish the light. The whole concept of grace reminds us that in spite of all the world's best efforts, the love and grace and goodness of God can seem to be thwarted, can be frustrated and complicated and made faint like a candle dimly burning, but it cannot be extinguished. So when the people of Whoville realized that their presents had been stolen, the roast beast had been eaten, and all their Christmas trappings taken down, they continued to celebrate and to find joy and hope with family and friends and community. And when they extended their gracious joy to the Grinch, well, we all know what happened then, don't we? He finally received it. And when he received it, his heart grew 3 sizes that day. Love has a way of doing that, doesn't it? It's a sweet story. But most of us know that we're not going to have all our gifts stolen, our Christmas feast eaten. We're not going to have all of our decorating destroyed. But the truth is that many will walk through this season with a profound sense of loss as they face perhaps a serious illness, a struggle with a difficult decision, worry about a loved one, feel the pain of grief, or find themselves in desperation needing to turn their lives in a different and better direction. For them, for each of us, we need to be the people of God extending gracious love to one another. But we must always first be willing to receive the message of gracious love into our own lives. We cannot give what we have not first received. John said, "To all who received him, who believed in his name, he gave the power to become children of God." That, my friends, is what the angels proclaimed when they heralded good news. It still is the message that God's love was meant for all people, and God's purposes of peace meant for the entire world. The invitation is to receive. Now that message comes as light breaking into the darkness of our world through the birth of Christ, Emmanuel, which means God is truly with us, with all of us, even in the darkness. And to all who receive this happy, good news, we become children of light and life and grace.